Okay, we're going to make some liposome vitamin C. Here are the things you need to make vitamin C. Measuring spoons, something to warm some water in, 1 cup, 2 pint-sized mason jars, distilled water, the lecithin, and the sodium ascorbate. You will also need a blender and ultrasonic mixer. Okay, so let's start. Let's get some distilled water, 1 cup. We're going to get some of this water warming. We're not going to get it too hot. We'll pour that into the small pan, put it on the oven, and on very, very low temperature, let it work. Now, while that warms, we will start to mix our lecithin. 1 tablespoon. And this will go in the blender. So we make 1 level tablespoon into blender. And that's all we need with the lecithin. Now, we need 1 cup of water, the distilled water, into one of the pint jars. That's all the water we need. 2 cups, 1 in the warm water, 1 in the pint-sized jar. Now we've put the lecithin in the blender. Now we'll put the ascorbic acid, and again 1 tablespoon. So it's just 1 to 1. We're going to mix this with the room temperature distilled water. My other water is warming up. That will mix with the lecithin. This water is room temperature. It will mix with the vitamin C or the sodium sorbate. So we're making a total of 2 cups of product. And we'll have to kind of keep stirring this to make sure it's all dissolved. We want it very well dissolved. I'm going to check and see if the water is warm. Okay, it is. I stuck my finger in it, and it's just to where I'm going, ooh, that's starting to get pretty warm. Not too hot for my finger. I pour that in the blender. That's 1 cup of distilled water, warmed up to a pretty good temperature. And now that's in there with the blender. And now it's going to get noisy because we're just going to let this thing blend. And that warm water should make it easy for the lecithin to be very smooth and blend very easily. Making sure that the vitamin C, the other cup of water, is well mixed. So now we have our 2 cups. We're going to ultimately blend those together and then move them over to the sonic. Now, you can see that my blending is very smooth. It's a milky color and it's blended very well. So now it's time to add the lecithin and the vitamin C. This is very well mixed. It looks completely clear. We'll add it together. We'll let it blend. I probably let the lecithin alone blend for 3, 4, even up to 5 minutes till it's very, very smooth and looks very mixed up. Then, when I know my vitamin C is very well mixed into its water. Then I add them together and let it go again for, 2, 3, up to 4 minutes. Don't be in a hurry to get it out of the blender. Okay, the blender has done its work. Now what you'll notice is a bunch of foam will gather on the top of this. That'll be a good indicator when we start our ultrasonic. When those bubbles disappear, we know that the lecithin is surrounding the vitamin C. So let's take it off, and we want to pour equal portions into our pint-sized jars, and then we will be moving to the, now with equal portions in the mason jars, we'll move to the ultrasonic and see if we can get that to what they call emulsify it. So now we're into the final phase. We're going to take our mixed product, put it in the ultrasonic, so they're both inside there. Then I'm going to fill it up with water up to the level of the product inside the mason jars. I leave it just a smidgen short of it so that the product stays solid as it sits in there. So now I'm going to set the time and I max it out. This is 480 seconds. I do 3 sessions. And you'll hear that vibration, the ultrasonic vibration. I also have ready something plastic to stir my product, and you stir pretty frequent. So now you start to, a little stirring, and you can kind of watch those bubbles start to disappear, knowing that when they're completely gone, you've probably done a pretty good job of mixing your lecithin and vitamin C. So we let this go. I have heard that ultrasonic sounds aren't good to just expose yourself to. So what I do is usually I get my headphones, sit here, read, listen to some music, and turn my timer on 3 different times, and then my product is finished. Then I put the caps on, stick them in the refrigerator, and let them get cold. Those 2 jars should last me for up to 8 days, and then I usually need to make another batch. That should be everything you need to know.